In this video, I wanted to talk about the best ways to observe drawing reference. I mean, your drawing reference could be, well, anything that you're trying to draw. I think it is a little bit better if you're drawing from actual life compared to drawing from an image. I'm not saying there's not a lot to be learned from drawing from an image. I think there definitely is. In many cases, especially considering how certain things move like quite frequently, so it becomes very difficult for things to be still and for people to draw them accurately. So let's say you have your drawing paper in front of you, right? So let's pretend this is like some drawing paper. A lot of the times you are going to have to look to the side at the thing you want to draw. Let's just say this box here is the reference, right? Now, if you were on a drawing, okay, if you're using a drawing tablet, I would say the best thing to use would probably be, well, the best way would to be have it as close to you as possible. So if you were doing still life, it would probably be right in front of you, or probably well, in a viewable area very close to you. So more often than not, if you were, say, doing a still life in person, it would probably be either kind of like directly in front of you, like here, or to the side here, or more often than not in this location, which I was kind of getting at before. So maintaining the same view that you have is the best way to go, because you want to be able to draw the thing from the perspective that you want to do it from. So like if you're doing a top-down view, you may have to kind of stand above it a little bit, or if you're working with an image, you could just work with that one image. So that's for like physical objects, but if you're working digitally, more often than not, you're probably going to have two monitors. And very often, I was going to say frequently, but probably more often than not, you'll be using a second monitor. And I think sort of the problem with that is the separation. So let's say this is your monitor 2. Or actually, it would probably be better if I said that this was monitor 2. And let's say your reference, let's just say this whole thing, oops. Let's just say this whole thing is monitor 1. Okay, so you have your reference on monitor 1, you're looking at it, and you're drawing on monitor 2. So I found time and time again that your brain could hold very little information at a time. Like I would say maybe one line. Some people may have like a mind's eye, and I think even relying on that is a dangerous thing to do. So I don't have a mind's eye, or maybe I do to a certain extent, but it's just not really all that there all the time. So more often than not, I would recommend, and as I said before, having your reference to you as close as possible is the way to go. So if you could drag your reference to the second monitor and like draw to the side of it, that is definitely the way to go. Because like there's so much less information that you have to hold in your head at a time between looking back and forth between looking at your reference and drawing from it. So that's from drawing from images mostly. I'm not saying that's a bad way to do it, and there is kind of like a higher level of complexity when drawing from like 3D, actual 3D life things. So I actually invented an application digitally, and the whole idea of that was to solve this exact issue. It's called Thumbtastic. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. But basically, this whole idea was spurred because of my mom. So my mom used to do a lot of drawing, and she had like a drawing table it was like a whole table. Oops. It was like a whole table dedicated for drawing. It's still in our house somewhere, and it had the ability to kind of slant to the side, and it had legs. I'm not remembering it because I can't reference it right now, but let's just say it had legs and all that other good stuff. And when my mom would draw, surprisingly enough, she would actually draw from images. So she would do pet pastel portraits, and when she was doing that, she would have an image of the pet in question near the side. So it would be clamped on with, like, it was just like a regular clamp thing, if you're familiar with these. I mean, you could use, well, you understand what a clamp is, I hope. It's like a little thing. And basically, my mom would clip it to either the left upper hand corner or the right upper hand corner, and she would reference that as she would draw. So the whole purpose of that was having your reference as close to you as possible. Pretty cool, right? And I also realized, I think I drew that a little bit out of perspective. So that was the cool thing about it. Because I remembered this from years and years ago, and it's like that really inspired me to make this application, because it was sitting in front of me all along in the physical world, and I was able to translate it to the digital. But do be cautious of drawing from images. I think they do have their use cases to do it, but I think that a lot of the times you are going to want to draw from physical life, or still life is what I believe many people will call it. But I'm saying this method is really great, and even if you want to draw from like physical images, I think if you are going to reference an image in any way, this is probably the best way to do it, because doing it this way gives a lot more time for you to draw the parts that you want to draw, rather than having to hold it in your mind. Because I feel more often than not, trying to hold a lot of information in your mind before drawing it is like a recipe for disaster, in which the things you're going to draw is not going to be the reality. And I'm not saying, like, I think art to a certain extent is about your interpretation, but I think when learning, it is important to try to be as accurate as possible to life. It's like, the end all isn't to be able to do what a camera can do, but it is important to have those skills to do it. Compared to having like a photo to your side. But like, don't let this discourage you. I mean, drawing at all is better than no drawing at all. So even if you just have it to the side, that is a good way. Or perhaps even on your composition, you don't even have any extra room. You could also get like I think it would be called like a gooseneck clamp that like has one of those things to the side that it can like hold an image. Let me try to. I'm pretty sure they exist. It would be like a clamp of some sort, and oops, I am not thinking. It would be like a clamp of some sort, and a clamp is kind of like that, and maybe it could hold the image to the side. That could be another viable option. So yeah, I do recommend doing that. You may have to experiment to find a comfortable balance, but yeah, those are the ways that I think is the best way to observe reference. There's probably a lot that I don't know, and I will of course share it on my channel once I do learn it. So if you do have a method of observing reference that you'd recommend, please share it down below. Perhaps it could help others. Perhaps it could be some massive insight to me or to someone else. So if you like my video, please like it. If you don't, dislike it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.